Bilingual Center 33 is a dual-language bilingual public school in South Buffalo, New York. In this video, we are going to hear from Dr. Maeva Lopez-Casam about how she promotes language growth in a bilingual early childhood classroom. Her school embraces bilingualism, multiculturalism, and a unique philosophy of art, nature, and learning. In this video, you will learn about the 4 foundational ideas for the school's bilingual program: 102 languages, child as center, collaboration, and translanguaging pedagogy.
Everything is a language. Dancing is a language, and they can explore their feelings and express their thoughts through dance. And yes, they're dancing. That doesn't mean that it ends in a dance. We will talk about the dance afterwards, and we will give it a name. We will label things in dance. We will label things in music that they create. I guess that the most important part about Reggio Emilia is that it gives children a voice, so that they can communicate and that they can learn about the world around them. The philosophy incorporates other very important elements. The Reggio Emilia philosophy would not exist without the idea that the child is the center. Everything revolves around what the children want to do. Because we believe that if we engage them, if their minds are engaged and they want to learn something because it's of interest to them, then we will capture their attention and then they will want to learn. So what we have here is a philosophy where we observe children in the classroom, and then we will ask them questions that will point us in the right direction so that we develop curriculum according to the needs and the wants and the interests of the children. That's a very important point.
Tuviste 5 caballos en la finca que okay. Y 5 caballos. Gabriel, Ángel, ¿a qué área quieres ir?
Vete a matemáticas conmigo.
Mía está allá, Mía está allá.
Maxwell, ¿a qué centro quieres ir? We work in collaboration with parents and with the atelierista, which is our home artist. And it doesn't have to be an art teacher, it could be a music teacher, but everything flows out of this idea that communication can exist through the arts, and therefore we can make it happen for children from that artistic perspective. So we collaborate very closely with the atelierista, who really works very closely with children as well, so that we can develop units that are based on the students' interest. And we integrate all instruction into that idea that I will create and I will communicate what I learn and what I know through art and through English and Spanish and whatever else, whatever 100+ languages are there. Thirdly, parents are very important. As much as possible, we invite parents to be part of the learning. I oftentimes have parents that come into the classroom and they help us with all sorts of projects, and we have activities, and as much as possible they are part of the children's education here at School 33.
My position is called the atelierista, which is an integrated arts teacher. I somewhat serve as a coach, a facilitator, a consultant to the teachers as well, because I work with every class from pre-K to 2nd grade, and we do the Reggio Emilia approach, so it's all project-based, child-centered learning, and I help them using my visual arts background to figure out what materials could we use to figure out what these kids know about the theme, about the subject that they're learning about. And they discovered this little tin carving that was on a tree, and I think it was from a can, and somebody had etched a little design into it, and one of the kids decided it was a pirate, evidence that a pirate had left it there. You know, maybe there was treasure, maybe it was part of the trail to find the treasure. And they all took off on it, and they came back to the school, and we ended up studying a pirate from Puerto Rico who would steal and then use what he sold to give to the poor. And so the kids had this great philosophical discussion on good versus evil, and then they got into like the history, what did the pirate ships look like, so they got that component up as well. And documentation is a huge part of the Reggio approach, so the kids quotes photographs as they're working, photographs of the finished project, and we use a timeline approach to summarize what they learned and tell a story. So the panels, like the one behind me, would usually have a summary in the top corner that explains what we did in English and Spanish with the children's quotes, and tells the story of what they learned. We believe in making learning visible. And then for the bilingual kids, it's just wonderful because it gives them a voice. And because our program is dual immersion, you could have two kids, one speaks only English, one speaks only Spanish, and they're working together on a project. And somehow they're communicating and they're making it work, and it gives them all of these opportunities to have, meaningful learning and conversations.
Very often, as part of the spirit of the school, we are a Reggio-inspired dual language program. So a lot of it has to do with taking children outdoors, not only to play, because I'm really concerned when people say, okay, let's play. Well, yes, but what I want to create, I don't want them to think that, okay, we're going to play and it's just fun and games. I want them to have joy for learning, okay? So part of that joy for learning is exploring what's around them. So we will take them for walks in the community, and we also go to the valley, which is a wonderful area with lots of nature, lots of areas for walking. They have a creek, they have a small, a little lake. And when we walk out there, the children are engaging with everything they see around them. When we come back, and I will take pictures. I tell them, anything interesting, you tell me, I'll take a picture of it, because then we'll talk about it. And when they come back from such an experience, or if we go to a farm, or if we go to the museum, when we come back, then we tell a story about what happened. Okay? Mira, ve.
Y lo tengo ahora.
Usa el rastrillito de mano. ¿Quién sabe cómo se llama esto?
Este guante para sacar la piel.
When we went to the pond, look at me. We threw sticks, palitos. We threw sticks into the water. What happened? Do you remember what happened?
Yes.
Thank you for raising your hand. It made circles, one around the other, right? That's what happens to sound. The sound makes waves, and those waves move. Okay? Do you want to say something else? Hizo splash. Cuando tú tiraste el palo, hizo splash y se movió ese sonido. Así es que funciona el sonido. Lo que hace es que se mueve desde donde empieza el sonido hacia donde se extiende el sonido. So what we have is sound. When sound begins, it starts splash in the middle, and then it goes and extends and extends and extends. Yes. La mano, gracias Ana. ¿Qué es esto? Un tomate. Ana sí que sabe pensar. Hay que levantar la mano. Es un tomate. ¿Cómo se dice tomate en inglés? ¿Cómo se llama tomate?
Tomato.
Tomato, tomate. Oh, tomato.
You said tomato.
¿Cómo se dice guante en inglés? ¿Cómo se dice guantes en inglés? In English, guantes. Gloves. Gloves. Ok, ahora espérate. Guante y gloves. ¿Empiezan con el mismo sonido inicial?
Yeah.
¿Qué sonido? ¿Qué sonido? No, ¿qué letra es esa? ¿Quién sabe? ¿Quién sabe qué letra es? ¿Qué letra? ¿Alguien sabe? Ah, tú sabes la letra. ¿Cuál letra? Tú tenías la mano. G. Ese es el sonido inicial. ¿Cuál letra es? Dime.
G.
La G. Y mira. Mira.
Zanahoria.
Mira. Era sopa. Era sopa de verdura. Sopa de verdura. Y mírala aquí. Este es el plato de sopa con la cuchara para que tú te la puedas comer.
Dame.
Soup, y dímelo en español. Es soup en inglés. ¿Cómo se dice?
Sopa.
Esto es sopa. Yo quiero que tú me digas cómo se dice sopa en inglés.
Sopa.
En español y en inglés, ¿cómo se dice? Your turn.
Soap y sopa.
Casi como soap, pero soap es jabón. No es soap. ¿Qué es? Soup. Digan soup.
Supi.
Oye, soup.
Supi.
Sopa.
Sopa.
Soup. Sopa. ¿Tú crees que son cognados?
Sopa.
¿Tú crees que son cognados?
Sí.
¿No?
Sí.
¿Suenan parecidos?
No.
A mí me suena un poquito parecido.
A mí
Así
también.
que soup.
Vamos a estirar.
Sopa. Vamos a hacerlo así. Sopa.
Estira.
No le tires tanto. No le tires tanto. Soup. Digan soup. Sopa. ¿Suenan parecidos?
Sí. El libro
¿Tú sabes?
se acaba.
Ya quieren que el libro se acabe. Y colorín colorado, este libro se ha acabado. But at this very early stage of development, it's very important for them to write. You know, this is a time when they learn that writing is the expression of what you know, the expression of what you feel. So a lot of the writing, instead of me writing it directly into the computer, as they tell me the story, they can see it on the screen. Oftentimes I just write it down in a book, in a machine, and then we put that book together, and it's handwritten. Their stories are handwritten. So we can do it in that mode. We also have students oftentimes just come to me and sit down around me, and I will show them pictures, and then they'll tell me the story, and I'll type the story. And we can use something like Padlet. I don't know if you're familiar with Padlet. It's a wonderful app that you can integrate pictures and words. So they will tell me a story about what's going on. I will put a picture into that Padlet, and then I will write down whatever they want me to write down. It's just a very easy thing to do because you can take pictures in your telephone, and you can immediately transfer them into this wonderful app. And the children tell you stories, and you have to also access on your computer, so you can read it over and over again. You can make copies of it, hard copies of it, make them into a book.
You've got some big ideas going on at the school. So you've got the Reggio Emilia, the dual language, and the focus on language use and translanguaging. Can you talk a little bit about how those three ideas can come together in a classroom like this?
Okay. I think they come together just fine, because the philosophy of Reggio Emilia is that children learn through 100 languages. And you said it's 100 here at the school, it's 100 plus 2. And I agree. That's why it's so easy. It really facilitates for teachers this idea that if I truly believe that children can learn and express themselves through many means, then having two languages, learning two languages to express their ideas and learn, it's a given. So it's very easy to have a program that approaches learning culturally and bilingually, with a philosophy that approaches learning through multiple modalities, and then translanguaging that makes it so feasible for students to access all their language funds in order to make connections about the world and to learn and to express what they're thinking.
Maeva's pre-K classroom embodies promising practices in teaching and learning for young emergent bilinguals. By providing a child-centered environment that celebrates the students' 100+2 languages, this setting encourages biliteracy, respect for culture, a lifelong love for learning, and an enduring understanding for all its students.